All right, Shalom. I want to give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And shalom to all the Akim pushing this truth with sincerity. All right, coming back with another video through the Spirit. And, was just reading some scriptures in the topic of polygamy came into my head, all right, based off of, our customs, all right, and how we operated as Hebrew Israelites concerning women in marriage, okay, and being in polygamous relationship, so to speak, was always natural, all right, for us Israelites, all right, which, the nation of Israel comprises of today in modern terms of the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, and there is nothing wrong with being polygamous. Okay, we're going to go through some scriptures and a few accounts concerning that matter. Okay, now this is the definition for polygamy. It says marriage with more than one spouse. Okay, and see, the thing is with that definition, when you go into the scripture, you got to be real specific. Okay, because it can only be polygamous on the man's side, not the woman's side. Okay, it can only be polygamous on the man's side. Okay, and see, the thing is, when you go into the scriptures, right, one of the first commandments given a man was to be fruitful and multiply. Okay, and the thing with this statement is, let's just read it. Genesis 1:22, and Yahweh, well, at this point, it's like it, and God, okay, or the Elohim, okay, you go into that word God, it should be Elohim in the Yiddish, and it will be Elohim. In the Paleo Hebrew, rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods, okay? So the gods, all right, or the Elohim, blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply. This is when they created man in their image, okay? But it says, and God blessed them, saying, be fruitful, multiply, and fill waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth, right? And that was for all creation, okay? That was for all creation. Be fruitful and multiply, all right? And see, the thing is, how we know that, being polygamous is intended on the man's side is because man carries what? The seed, okay? And our seed, okay, is really limitless, all right? If I was to have sexual intercourse with a woman or 5 women today, I am able to impregnate all of those women. Okay, so to be able to be fruitful and multiply at a fast rate, a man will have to deal with more than one woman. And ultimately, that's the tale of the scriptures, period, when dealing with polygamy. A man will always deal with more than one woman. It would never be vice versa, okay? And if it was to be, that woman would be counted as an adulteress or adulterer, all right, adulteress, okay, and ultimately a whore. Because where does those terms come from, being a whore? You don't hear anything about a man being a whore, all right, or a man being a hoe. You got women and just, here in America who put those certain titles on things, all right, but that's whole whore, prostitute, all right, stigma comes from women sleeping with more than one man, which is shamed upon, okay? So that's how we know that polygamy is one-sided, all right? It isn't two-sided, It says the word is not etymologically restricted to marriage of one man and multiple women, right? But see, that's what they do, all right? That's what they do. See, here in Esau's kingdom, they try to make these words, all right, fit their agenda, okay, to push their MO, their motivations, etc. And I want to read this little passage here. It says, in Christian countries, when a man has more wives than one, or a woman more husbands than one, at the same time, he or she is punishable for polygamy. It says, but if there was a separate marriage with each, the first marriage would be valid notwithstanding the subsequent ones, and the latter ones would be void. The offense of contracting the subsequent marriage is now termed bigamy, but polygamy in the form of polygyny is allowed in some countries, especially among Mohammedans, and was held a matter of faith and duty by the Mormons. Right. So just some little, read on, where it's allowed and where it isn't. But, the whole Christian countries thing is what? Pretty much based off of people who live off the principles of the Bible, so to speak. But polygamy is one of those principles, okay? And even when you go into our law, we had laws concerning certain matters when men were dealing with more than one woman. See, the thing is, a lot of people go to the New Testament, or even in the Old Testament, a lot of the priests were only allowed one wife. But that's because they had a high office, okay, dealing with the temple and just, being ministers unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. They had a heavy portion. So, their eye had to be very single, okay, because of their office. All right. Little to no distractions, okay? And if you having more than one wife, a lot of your time, all right, and energy will be dedicated to taking care of your wives. All right. Now, let's just get one precept real quick in Deuteronomy. All right. Just make sure our mic is on. Shai. This is Deuteronomy 21 and 15 going into our law. All right. This is Deuteronomy 21 and 15. If a man have two wives, okay, and that's just two, okay, it could get way more. All right. You can have way more. And another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated. And if the firstborn son be hers, that was hated, then it shall be when he maketh his sons to inherit that which he have, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. Right. So if he had a wife, his first wife, her child, regardless of the situation, the bitterness, whatever the case may be, her child, which will be his firstborn son, all right, will receive the inheritance. All right, whether he liked his wife or not. All right, that son will still receive the inheritance. All right, first. All right, that's the order. But like we said, keying in on the wives part, he had two wives. Okay, and like I said, this is in our law. Okay, but let's go into a couple accounts. All right, because Jacob, all right, he dealt with his two wives and their two handmaids, man. All right, what was Leah and Ziplah, I believe. All right, no, Salaki. Let me correct myself. Let's just go to it. It's the closest chapter to it. Salaki. Just type in Leah. No, Leah was a sister. But he dealt with their concubines. Leah and okay, Zilpah, his mate, right? So Zilpah was Leah's handmaid or maid. All right. But Shalakia, then he dealt with, I forget the other ones. That thing start with a B. Let me find out. All right, so he dealt with Rachel, Leah, Zilpah, and he dealt with I believe Rachel's handmaid as well, if if I can find it. Let me just look it up. All right. See, so he dealt with more than one woman. Yeah, Belha. All right. Like I said, let me get this. Genesis 29 and started 28. Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also. And Laban gave Rachel his daughter Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. He went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah. Right, so just in that, he had Leah and Rachel, two sisters, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when Yahweh saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. The Lord funny, man. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, surely Yahweh have looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me. Right? Reuben's name is a nomen omen, pretty much. All right. Where we at? See if anything come up with Bilhah. Let me just type her name in, and we should get an account. All right. Right, here we go, right here. I think we're just in the same chapter. Well, yeah, so Rachel couldn't conceive, all right? And we just read how she couldn't conceive, or he made her barren, all right? Let's read this real quick. Genesis 30:1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die. Right, going to show you, man, how being a woman, then you really were a woman. You cared about having children. You cared about being in the house and, fulfilling your womanly duties, to the point where she was like, man, I'm going to die. I might as well die. If I can't be a woman, I'm going to die. If I can't do what a woman does or go through the process that women go through, carrying children, having children, etc., I might as well die. Jacob's anger, verse 2, and Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel when he said, am I in God's stead, who have withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? Right? He got pissed off, like, yeah, I'm not the Most High. I can't open up your womb. I'm doing what I got to do, but it's up to the Heavenly Father whether or not you conceive. Verse 3, and she said, behold, my maid Bilhah. Right? So pretty much these maids were Jacob's concubines. All right, in the sense that they were not married or tied to him in marriage like Rachel and Leah were, but he was, he would do his 1-2 with them, to conceive, to have children. And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. Right, so he had pretty much children through Bilhah for Rachel's sake. All right, you see, so Jacob, our forefather Jacob, dealt with more than one woman. All right, and not only that, he dealt with heathen women as well. All right, and some of those very heathen women that he dealt with are made up some of the tribes today. You see, but let's just grab a few more accounts, okay? And a good one, when you go into Judges dealing with Gideon, okay? Judges 8, okay? And these were all Israelite men who dealt with more than one woman. All right? This is Judges 8, and I'm going to start at 29. And Jerubbaal, the son of Joash, went and dwelt in his own house. And Gideon had 70 sons. So he had 70 sons of his body begotten. Right, because what? Man carry what? The seed. All right, the woman only carries what? An egg or 2, 3, maybe 4. I'm not for sure on that, how many eggs they have. And, but, the most, I've known a woman to bear at once is what, like triplets, right? But it still what stems from what that one man's seed. All right, it isn't gonna be three dudes popping her. All right, and they all three, you know what I'm saying? It all be three babies up in her. No, all right, you know, it'll be one out of the three. You see, so when you fruitful and multiplying, you know, it's pretty much through the man, because the man has to do what? Plant his seed. All right. It says, and Gideon had 70 sons, and his body begotten, for he had many wives, and his concubine, that was Shechem, she also bare him a son, whose name was Abimelech. All right. But like I said, keying in, for he had many wives. All right. He had many wives. Okay. And if you got 70 children, all right, and ain't no way one woman is going to be able to conceive 70 children. No way. Ain't no way, bro. I think a lot of these women's eggs start to die off, you know, once they approach their 30s. You see? So, right. He had many wives. He had to deal with many women in order to achieve that. Okay? Now let's, our forefather David, man. All right? He had more than one woman. Let's go to 2 Samuel, let's see, like 5 and 13. And even when you go prior to this, I believe he had 2 wives. All right, he had to go save them, etc. And I think this is like right when he became king. All right. This is 2 Samuel 5 and 12. And David perceived that Yahweh had established him king over Israel. Right. So this is when David, all right, was, you know, fully established as king over Israel, and that he had exalted his kingdom for his people Israel's sake. And David took him more concubines. Right, this, he said more. So he already had, you know, whatever he had. And I know for sure, I think at this point he already had 2 wives, because he had a situation where he had to go rescue them. All right. And wives out of Jerusalem after he was come from Hebron. And there were yet sons and daughters born to David, right? So our King David had more than one wife and dealt with concubines, man, because you can deal with concubines, man. See, that's the thing, man. A lot of people swear up and down they understand the scriptures, know the Bible, these Christian folks, etc., but they don't acknowledge things like this, all right? They don't acknowledge things like this. Okay, they don't acknowledge when men dealt with more than one wife. All right, they don't acknowledge when sins were, you know, certain sins were punishable by death, etc. You see, they don't acknowledge these things, man. All right, but you have to. But see, at the end of the day, these are our customs anyway. All right, and it's evident even in today's world. You know, why you think Jake got all the baby moms and, you know, Dylan and Willing, you know, because it's in our blood, it's in our DNA. We are naturally polygamous, man. I mean, I will say all men. All right, shit. Esau, he had more than one wife, if I'm not mistaken. All right, when he started to marry into the to the lineage of the Hamites, you know. You see. All right, let's get a couple more accounts in Chronicles. All right, because you know the kings of Israel had more than one wife. All right. At least most of them, I would say. But 2 that comes to mind. 2 Chronicles 11. And let's go down. And this is concerning the King Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, who was wicked. All right. But like we said, we're just getting some context and, you know, getting some points made through the Spirit. All right, this is 2 Chronicles 11. I'm going to start at 18. And Rehoboam took him Mahalath, the daughter of Jeremoth, the son of David. All right. And Abihail, the daughter of Eliab, the son of Jesse. Right. So it said Mahalath, the daughter of Jeremoth, the son of David. Right, so Jeremoth would be his what uncle, and Jeremoth would be Solomon's brother. So that would make Mahalath his cousin. All right. So hey, you could deal with your cousin. You see, it says the daughter of Eliab the son of Jesse, which bare him children Jeush and Shamariah and Zaham, and after her took Ma'ikah the daughter of Absalom, right? Also one of David's sons, which bare him Abijah and Attai and Ziza and Shelomith. Right, so this was another cousin. Because Absalom would be what? Solomon's brother. All right. And what? He was dealing with Absalom's daughter, which would be what? His cousin. You see? Verse 21, and Rehoboam loved Ma'ikah, the daughter of Absalom, above all his wives and his concubines. For he took 18 wives and 60 concubines. Wow. So he had 18 official wives of the nation of Israel and 60 concubines, 60 concubines, and begat 28 sons. Right, like I said, how you gonna do this with one woman? If you want to achieve fruit, being fruitful and multiply, it's impossible to achieve this with one woman, man. All right, the span of you, if you take 10 years and you only deal with one woman for that 10 years, she may be able to conceive out of that 10 years, 10 babies, right? But if you take the same 10 years and dealt with 10 women in each year, you'll be able to bear 100 babies. Okay, you see the difference, you know? And why you think men have so much semen in them? All right, you gotta ask yourself all these questions, man. Why a man can ejaculate multiple times in a day? All right, because that is, like I said, in our nature, our it's in our bio. Okay, it says and begat 8 sons and 60 daughters. Wow. It said, and he begat 28 sons and 60 daughters. And see that look at this. Look at the ratio here. All right. 28 sons and 60 doubles. So for every man here is 2 women. All right. You see the ratio? People don't understand it. Also, it's more women on the planet than there are men. There isn't no even number. So if there isn't no even number between the two, come on, man. Make it make sense. All right. And the good thing that also shows that too is that movie, The Matrix. It was like one of the last ones when they had went to what's it called, Zion, that little spot, and they had wind up doing the same thing. And they made a mention that the ratio of men and women, I think, is like 1 to 7, something like that. Maybe different, maybe more or less, but it's something to that degree. But even in this scripture here, it shows you the ratio difference. You see? So yeah, man, like I said, this is nothing new and nothing out of the ordinary. I got one more that I'm thinking about in Chronicles 24 with Jehoiada. I kind of trip over his name sometimes. The priest. Okay, this is 2 Chronicles 24:2. And Joash did that which was right in the sight of the Lord all the days of Jehoiada. Right in the beginning he did, the priest. And Jehoiada took for him 2 wives, and he begat sons and daughters, man. So like I said, man, just simple scriptures in history concerning what they call polygamy today. All right, we just simply call it having multiple wives. All right, nothing new, nothing out of the ordinary. It's in our bio, and in the kingdom this will happen as well, because it's a prophecy that has to be filled. One should become 1,000, and 1,000 a strong nation. Okay, so in order to achieve that, come on, make it make sense. Jay gonna have to have more than one wife. All right, so I'm gonna call it that, man. Lord's will, this was edifying. Gonna give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodash. Shalom and Abba Babal.